Now this one was interesting to me. There's apparently a famous pizza place in Boulder called the Sink.
Okay.
Have you been there?
Gosh, I am
Man,
a failure of a boulderite.
no, I'm just disappointed because they apparently it's a big deal, and I was like, well, now I just want to know if it's any good.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I was a kid growing up there, so like, as like you like really discover your city. I think when you like move out and you're like, I can go wherever I want, and that kind of stuff. So like, I was always just kind of I was like, Applebee's and Chili's. Those were my spots.
Man, I haven't thought about that, but you're right because I'm thinking back. I'm like, yeah, Hey guys, let's go to TGI Fridays tonight. Let's go do something. And
I know it's kind of sad.
We're here today with Rachael Lampa, RachaelLampaMusic.com here on Behind the Tunes from the Visible Music College studios. Rachael, thanks so much for being here today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Yes, our friends here. Now, we have a story, Rachael. You and I have a story
Okay.
that you will not remember, but I thought it was very funny. You and I think we're in
Oh
the
no.
same age bracket somewhere along the way. And so this would have been somewhere around our age of probably not driving very long at this point in our lives. I
Okay.
think this was at a summer jam. Okay.
Okay.
You remember
Okay.
those things when
Oh yes.
now it's just winter, but there were summer jams for a
Yeah,
minute.
there was. Yep.
I was a huge Tate band fan. All
Okay.
right.
Yep.
I was kind of rock and roll guy and all that kind of stuff. And so I was at this summer jam, and I don't know how this happened. I don't know. I don't remember. It's probably so that if I'm ever questioned about it, I don't have to lie. But I ended up backstage
Okay.
at this summer jam, and I'm talking to Tate, and you come walking right by and say to Tate, "Hold this," and you take your gum out of your mouth, put it put it in his hand and just don't even check up. And he's just standing there holding your chewed gum in his hand.
That sounds right. That sounds about right. I love this. Oh my gosh, this is good.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for reminding me of this. This is
You,
good. That totally tracks. Yeah, he's like a brother to me, especially back then when we were all just little punk kids, just trying to get by. But yes, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Well, yep, on those summer jam tours, that was like, that was it. We were just like we were all packed up and just on the road. Like I rarely went home. I feel
yeah.
like that was just it's like, all right, you are now adopted as my brother. And
Well, he did not seem surprised that
yeah,
that
yeah.
happened in the
It
least.
makes me want to go find him right now, wherever he is, and just go hand him my gum. Just
Well,
for old time's sake.
next time you see him, just do it for old time's sake, and I think
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
that'll
do
be
it.
lovely. Now, originally, you're a Coloradan. You grew
Yes,
up in
I
Colorado, right? Was it a little
yes,
is it a little place called Louisville, Colorado? Is that right?
that's right. We call it Louisville, but out here, and Louisville
No,
is it happens.
no, that's great. All right, I was going to ask you about that. Is it Louisville or Louisville? Because
Mhm.
I'm in Mississippi and we have a place called Louisville.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I think these people that say Louisville, I think they're just making stuff up
I
because I
think
don't. It
they're just being silly gooses. They don't need to do that. They're just
doesn't
being
make any
silly.
sense.
There's
So
an
I
S,
was,
a
so I
big
was-
old S in there.
no, there's nobody that's named Lewis. This name we don't look at his name and say, "Oh, that's Louis, Louis over here." You know.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah. It's not even Louis, right? It's Louisville.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a mess.
Well, I'm glad you guys in Colorado got it right, like us in
We know what we're
Mississippi.
doing. We know what we're
We'll see
doing.
how it goes from
Yeah.
there.
I grew up, yeah, it's like right outside of Boulder. Just like the most beautiful place to grow up, and um I miss it a lot. I moved away. I basically went all the way up to high school and then moved to
Mhm.
Nashville when I was about 17, 18 officially.
Yeah.
But I had kind of been going back and forth since I was 14
Yeah.
from here, Nashville, to Louisville.
There you go. Well, I was trying to do a little reading up on Louisville, and there's not a whole lot going on in Louisville. It did look like a lovely place to live, but not a whole lot going on. So I did look up some
Yeah.
things in Boulder to see, well, what's some fun
Okay. Yeah.
things I need to know about Boulder? And one of the things it was,
Okay.
and I think this could trickle into Louisville, Colorado. There, that Boulder is considered one of the happiest places in the United States to live.
Really? I didn't
It's,
know that.
yeah.
I
Um,
believe it.
it's illegal. Well, I'll say illegal in Boulder. You can't actually own a pet in the city limits. Did you know this?
What?
You are labeled as a pet guardian.
Whoa.
You're simply guarding this pet.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So
These are all new for me.
don't call yourself mom. You know,
Right?
to your
Dog
dog.
person.
Now this one was interesting to me. There's apparently a famous pizza place in Boulder called the Sink.
Okay.
Have you been there?
Gosh,
Man,
I'm a failure of a boulderite.
no, I'm just disappointed because they apparently it's a big deal, and I was like, well,
It
now I just
kind
want
of
to know if
sounds
it's
familiar.
any good.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I was a kid growing up there, so like, as like you like really discover your city. I think when you like move out and you're like, I can go wherever I want, and that kind of stuff. So like, I was always just kind of I was like Applebee's and Chili's. Those were my spots.
Man, I haven't thought about that, but you're right because I'm thinking back. I'm like, yeah, Hey guys, let's go to TGI Fridays tonight.
I
Let's go. Hey, let's
know.
go do something, and
I
we're
know. It's
just
kind of
foolish.
sad.
Well,
It's kind of
Robert
sad.
Robert Redford worked at the Sink before he
What?
became famous.
I feel like it sounds really familiar, and I feel like my little brother will know exactly what the sink is because
You-
he was the cool kid in our family that actually did cool things. Probably because we could drive him there. But
Here's what we're
yeah.
gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna reach out to Robert Redford,
Okay. Yep.
and
I've
then
got it.
yeah, we're gonna meet in Boulder, and we're all the three of us are gonna go to the Sink, and we're just gonna see if it's any good. We're gonna see if
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
lives up to the hype, and then we'll
Needs to
just
be.
go from there. And then the last thing about Boulder I thought was funny. I don't think there's probably very many llamas around there, but if you do end up as a pet guardian to a llama, because you can't own it, it can't graze in public in Boulder. So
Well, shoot.
I
What a
appreciate
friend.
that about Boulder, to be honest. You can't have too many llamas roaming around, for honest. So, you know,
Yeah.
so there's your
That's
Boulder snapshot.
that's good for me to know. I feel like there's always been like a temptation for me to have a llama because of my last name. Just to like kind of add a pun to the world and to my friend group around me to just have a little more fun with my name. A lot of there's one artist out here named Matt Wirtz, and he every time I run into him, he'll sing from across the room, and he'll say he'll sing the "Thy word is a lampa unto my feet," and I feel like I need to create a little more like just a few more ways to make fun of my name.
Branding. It's called branding, Rachel. You gotta,
Yeah, exactly.
oh, again, we're here with Rachel Lampa, RachelLampaMusic.com here on Behind the Tunes from the Visible Music College Studios. Well, Rachel, you alluded to this a little bit. You kind of got going there young, 14, and then you said you
Yeah.
moved to Nashville at 17.
Uh-huh.
What was your journey like in those early days of because you kind of burst on the scene in the Christian music world. What was that as that unfolded? How did that all unfold for you?
I feel like there's kind of two versions of this because while I was 14, while I was in that time, it was a very different story than from what it is now. Um, from like how I remember it and how I think back on it,
Mhm.
because in the moment, I was, yeah, it was like when I got signed to my record deal, it was in the summer of eighth grade.
Man,
And so I was, I had a 14-year-old mind that was just like when I'm traveling the world, honestly, and I'm living on buses and living with Michael Tate on buses and you know and having these experiences that were so fast paced and so you know so different from the rest of my peers that I just was like everything just kind of felt like it was happening to me. um and so there was a lot of there's been a lot of stuff to unpack now,
Yeah.
um but in that time I do like love to think back on how God's hand was on me, because I felt like what I did get to do was enjoy. Like I
Mm.
just felt like there was a lot of joy, a lot of joking around, honestly, like a
Yeah.
lot of fun. And I
Hmm.
feel like God was like, I'm protecting me in that way. He was protecting me from the other side of that, where it was, you know, throwing a young girl into an adult life, you
Yeah.
know? Um, and I felt like God always put people, really joyful people around me. I felt like he woke up, he kept awake that spirit in me, that childlike, spirit in me. And I also think that he established this thing in me with music, and specifically like that music. I think especially in Christian music, sometimes you get this um these words spoken to you that like you have to give that gift and give it away and share it, and these are all great things, but I do think that there is a place for enjoying that gift first. Like any gift given to you, you get a gift and you're like your immediate, or I guess when you give a gift to somebody, you don't want them to just go give it away. You want them to like
Hmm.
enjoy that and
Yeah.
like savor it, and let them, let that become part of them. And I think that that's something that God showed me early in life. Like, don't forget to just spend time with me in this. Like, sing to me, just me, and sing with me, just me, and then go share it with the world. um and so I think like there was a really a sense of that growing up, which I am just so grateful for. And yeah, it was wild. I mean, there's a lot of moments that I just totally cannot remember,
Yeah.
and just like a lot of touring and a lot of, being in the studio and stuff like that. But I do when I look back and I see and remember those joyful, even handing Michael my gum, like those moments, I just felt like God was really, um, yeah, holding me in that time.
So good, because I agree with you. We don't talk enough about um one of the best ways that we get to know God is to enjoy Him. And one of the best ways that we enjoy Him is in the threads that He knit within us when He created us in our mother's womb,
Yeah,
you know? And He
yeah,
shows us so
yeah.
much of Himself, which then gives us more to take into the world. But for whatever reason, I agree with you.
Mm,
For too
yeah,
often it's just kind of pushed out, pushed out, pushed out when really there's a rhythm to it. And that's lovely. That's really a beautiful thing. And I'm glad that he protected you in such a way where you can look back and say, I got to enjoy so many different things and so many great people along the way. And so,
yeah. I
obviously,
I heard, yeah, I heard. Oh, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Are you there? Okay, you're freezing up a little bit. Um, I heard this thing recently about like growing closer to God actually has less to do with like getting bigger and closer, in that way. It's more about going deeper in,
Mm,
because that's like where he is, and so I think like, even just talking about that, like, um you know
I
sorry,
love it.
the
Going with
the
it.
7 month old, in if you're not watching the video, if you're only listening to audio, there's a 7 month old in my arms and he's making all the noises.
Love it.
um um I yeah, like you were saying, like a lot of, what we have to offer the world is what was knit in us from the beginning,
Hmm.
and so I just thought that that was so cool that, that the more we return to like the child within. I think the closer we are to God.
So obviously, this journey goes into overdrive for you at 14. Was music just always something you wanted to do?
Yeah, I was pretty much like so I'm 5'1", and so I played basketball my whole life.
Yeah.
And my poor mom was like, there was a point where I was like, yeah, 13, 14, like on the verge of this record deal and all that stuff. And I said to my mom, I'm like, I don't know if I should do music or the WNBA. And my poor mom he had to keep a straight face and be like, I think we should do music.
You can never find your basketball. Like
so
it
yeah,
keeps disappearing on me.
yeah, what, mom? Why are my shoes all cut up? Oh my gosh. So yeah, it was music or basketball, and I chose well. But yeah, I did. I sang my whole life. I sang in church. I sang anywhere anybody would ask me to sing. And it was awesome because I was just this kid in Louisville, Colorado, where there was not much of a music business, but I had no idea there was Christian music. I didn't know Christian music existed. I didn't
Hmm.
grow up on it. Um, I had no idea. So when I was asked to sing at this coffee shop in Colorado, and it happened to be this after show for basically a Christian music like festival. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
there were like some competitions, there were performances every night, and there was this little coffee shop slot that they were like, "Oh, get a local girl on it," So they called me, but they said it was like it was Christian music. So I was like, "Okay, what's Christian music?" And so I ended up singing the soundtrack to The Preacher's Wife. um, just a bunch of like just a bunch of
Yeah.
Whitney Houston songs. I was like, does this work? Some of them worked.
Yeah.
Some of them did. Um, but that night, I met Jackie Velasquez, and I
Mm-hmm.
met Amy Grant, who I knew her music. I knew that was the extent of Christian music that I knew was
Yeah.
Amy. Michael W. Smith, and it was just this little after show for them, and that's where kind of it all, I got a couple people from record labels approached me and my mom, and that's kind of where that whole thing started.
And here we are today, just a few years
Mm-hmm.
later. Just a few years later, we're with Rachael
Yep.
Lampa, RachelLampamusic.com. Here on Behind the Tunes from the Visible Music College studio. Rachael, shifting gears just a little bit. Do you remember the first record you bought with your own money?
Yes, but it's not, okay, Puff Daddy.
Oh,
It was Puff Daddy. It was that
okay.
single that can't nobody take my pride. Ain't nobody take it. I know. Sorry, guys. His name
Oh,
was Puff Daddy back then, also, not
yeah,
whatever his
whatever
real.
it is now. In the singles days were,
Yeah.
I know we have it in iTunes and stuff, whatever. But the singles
Uh-huh.
days, people that are younger now, they don't understand the joy of going to Walmart or whatever record
Yeah,
store with 3.99 and finding
that's right.
that CD with
That's
that
right.
single. So
Because
Puff
that's all I had.
Daddy, that's right, that's right. Scrounging up out of the couch to go get a single. So Puff Daddy was your first one. Well, who were some of your influences
It
growing up?
was. It was, but I will also say that Amy Grant was in that world. So I'm not like, a heathen. I had some good influences in my life. But yeah, Amy Grant. But yeah, it was pretty much in my CD player, which is
Hmm.
a machine that you put a music product in, and it plays. Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston,
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, um, just like the big singers, and um, yeah, and soulful. I just loved soul music, and that was always kind of pumping through the house.
So
So
you're always going, and this makes sense for you. You're always kind of going after those big voices then.
Yeah, I just loved it. I just loved like getting in the minivan, that was parked in the driveway and just being like, "Mom, I just need to go in the car for a little bit and try out some notes." And I would just
Yeah.
go in there and I just scream.
Oh, I love that.
But yeah, again, and I think too, this also speaks back to enjoying the gifts that God gives us, because I didn't know what Christian music was,
Hmm.
but I there was this joy that was just set in me, just from literally singing notes, not
Yeah.
even not even words, like we could sing oohs and ahs, and there was a joy, and I think that was like my first worship was just
Mm.
you know just singing oohs and ahs, and feeling this joy, and this what I ended up finding out was this closeness to the Lord.
Yeah.
um
We
and I grew up, oh, sorry, go
no, no,
ahead.
no, go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
I grew up Catholic, in Louisville, Colorado, and there was this little church that uh they would ask me to sing at communion,
Yeah.
and I would sing Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston at communion. And that's all I knew. So I didn't think that was weird at all, but I love telling that because people are like, "What? That would never fly here." Um, I know, it's such a funny little pocket of life and little
Yeah.
little corner.
I'm so tickled about the fact that with the coffee shop, you're rolling in with the preacher's wife
Yeah,
soundtrack.
yeah,
At the Catholic Church communion, you're coming in with Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey, and
I
everybody's just
know.
like, "All right, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're
They're like,
doing
this
today."
is weird.
Oh man, again, we're here with Rachael Lampa, RachelLampaMusic.com on Behind the Tunes, Visible Music College Studios. Rachel, I don't want to keep it too much longer. There's few things like live music. You've done a good bit of live music, a lot of great, incredible moments, but there's some goofy stuff that happens along the way too. Is there a most embarrassing on
Yes.
stage moment that sticks out to you?
Okay. This one, it's really hard to embarrass me, by the way. I mostly, if an embarrassing moment comes, I'm gonna just go with it and have fun too.
Mm-hmm.
So there have been moments where like I play a lot of pranks on stage on people and therefore get them played back on me. But this one was not a prank. This one I was actually in Italy, in Rome. And I was there to sing at World Youth Day for the Pope. But right before this show, there was this like beautiful stage in the middle of like a piazza, like in the middle of the town, and I think there were 30,000 people lined at this stage lined up, and I have this incredible epic moment for like a 15-year-old. Did my show, was coming off stage, and there was a huge staircase coming down the stage, and I went down the whole thing on my butt. So that was my
Thirty
that was
thousand
the
people.
joke that I was not in on.
You sang for the Pope at
I
15?
did. I did. It was unbelievable.
That's wild. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Man, well, you got to I don't know where to go with that one, but that's pretty wild. For a 15-year-old to like 30,000 people and the Pope around here.
Well,
It's a pretty
so
big
that
deal.
was, yeah, because that stage was the 30,000 people. The Pope stage was 2.8 million. So you see, with a crowd like that, you see for like a few hundred, a few thousand, maybe you can see faces, and then beyond that, it's just colors. It's just a sea of colors. You literally, it's not fathomable. There's like screens all for miles and miles and miles. But if you know anything about World Youth Day, it's people come from all over the world, so
Yeah.
it's 3 million people.
Three
It's wild.
million people. That's a
It's insane.
that's a that's a memory. That's wild. Rachel, I like to end a
It is.
little rapid
Yeah.
fire. You got your game face on?
All right.
What's the
Yes, let's
last
do it. I've
what's
got
the
this.
last Halloween costume you remember wearing?
Ooh. Um, what was I? I almost want to just say him because, or no, my big kid. Can I do my big kid? Because
Yeah,
that's
let's
really
do
funny.
it.
When he was born like right before Halloween, and I got a Chipotle. I went to Chipotle and I got like an entire burrito and I got all this stuff and he fit inside of the little thing. So I made him a little Chipotle burrito.
A
And I was all
living
by myself.
burrito.
Like my husband was yes, a living and breathing burrito. So I was just sitting there for hours, just like making this right, and it was epic. I'm very proud of it.
How old? How old?
He was weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks old.
And see, that's the phase where we're not even sure what reality is.
Yeah,
So does you know?
exactly.
Does it make a whole? It makes sense that you were making him a burrito at this
That I
point
was
for
making him a
sure.
burrito, exactly, because
Yeah.
and I probably thought it was totally normal.
Yeah. What's your favorite junk food?
My favorite what?
Junk food.
Junk food. I'm like a chips girl. Like, give me every bag of chips, every kind of chips. I will
Any
go
kind.
hard.
All right,
Yeah.
listen, we're at the gas station. We're at the truck
Mhm.
stop.
Yeah.
You got to make a decision. Which one are you grabbing?
I'm gonna go classic sour cream and cheddar ruffles.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you know,
fair. That's
simple,
fair.
but
What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
um, let's go. So, do you guys have Jenny's out there? Do you guys have Jenny's ice cream?
No. What is this Jenny's I need to know about?
It is just superior, basically. Is the best word for
Is it in
it.
Nashville?
It's in Nashville, but it's a chain. Like there's more. There's throughout the U.S. I think. Um,
Jenny's.
yeah, there's a Jenny's ice cream, and it's called almond butter brittle.
All
And
right.
usually nuts and fruit in my desserts. I get pretty mad. I'm like, get out of my desserts.
Yep.
But this one is just the best.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call Robert Redford. We'll fly out and we'll eat at the sink. We'll fly back, grab some ice cream at Jenny's, and the three of us will just
Yep,
compare notes from there.
it'd
Can
be
you
great. Maybe we
name?
could even find.
Maybe. Can you name one of the seven dwarfs?
Oh my gosh, Sleepy. That one.
Yeah, that's
Grumpy
one.
is Grumpy one.
Yeah, Grumpy's one.
These are all like things that describe me like 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
Sleepy girl. Oh no, smelly. I
Yeah.
don't
You know,
know.
I did it. I asked somebody the same question recently. They said Harry. I was like, Harry? There's no Harry. There's no Harry the dwarf. That's not a thing. How
There's
long does it
probably
take?
some kind of psychological thing here.
How long does it take Rachel Lampa to get dressed in the morning?
Oh, not long. I'm a pretty I have to be quick because I have two little people to run to, but I'd say I'm like a 5 to 10 minute
Mm,
maybe.
rock and
Yeah.
roll. What color is
Yeah.
your toothbrush?
What color are you right now? I think she's purple. Yeah, we're
Purple.
purple right now.
In the movie
Yeah,
about
we're
your
purple.
life, the Rachel Lampa story, what actress would play you?
Oh my gosh. Can I like, oh man. I want it to be somebody really funny. But I feel like I'm kind of flattering myself, but I would say like Tina Fey or something like that because I
You
think
get to
she's
flatter yourself. That's what. Yeah, we get to do this. All right, Tina Fey. I accept that. That's good. If you could be any Marvel character, who would it be?
Oh no, I don't know Marvel. I'm bad at Marvel, but I do love, is Iron Man in there? I love
I
him.
think so. I'm not good at it either,
Yeah.
and that's why I ask it. Because some people are like, I don't know. Like it's like,
Yeah, I know.
they
It's
make
like
up like a name,
really
like
though.
Brickman. They say it's something weird,
Yeah.
like Brickman. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're like, oh,
we'll go with that.
the deep cut.
Or then you have the ones that are like super into it, and they name somebody. I'm like, I don't know. Once you get past
Yeah.
Captain America, you start to lose me. So, all right,
Same.
yeah. So you can be. I'll let you be Iron Man. Tina Fey as Iron Man. That's what we'll do for
Perfect.
you. Favorite board game?
Um, what do we like? I love like good classic like cards. I don't know if that's board game, but like good like I love to play poker.
Yeah,
Um, Even with my little kid, he's super good at it. So that's kind of my jam right now.
we're gonna go to the sink in Boulder. We're gonna come
Hmm.
back to Jenny's get some ice cream, and then you,
Yeah.
me,
Call
Robert,
it
and your 7-year-old are gonna play
Tina Fey, probably. We'll
poker.
have to get
Tina
her.
Fey will be here by then. We'll do
She'll be here.
poker and just compare notes on all the food we had. Time machine for one, for one day. When and where do you go?
Oh, I mean, gosh, I feel like I've been doing, so my husband's a therapist. So we talk about this a lot, but we talk about like our inner child a lot. So I would go back to like, you know, what would be a golden age? Like 6 or 7 year old me, maybe.
Yeah.
And just kind of like probably take it in a little more, look around a little more, and just like hang out with her a little bit. I think that would be pretty cool. Like now that I have one,
Yeah.
like a 6 year old, now that I can kind of see him, I would love to like see back out.
Would she think you were cool?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, she totally would. She'd
You
be like,
hope
oh,
you
you're
hope
doing
so,
something with
right?
that.
You hope so. You're like, oh, please don't reject me, 7-year-old me.
Yeah.
What was
Right.
your favorite cartoon growing up?
Oh my gosh, the Rugrats. Do you remember
Oh
Rugrats?
yeah, it's a great one.
All
Classic.
about.
Last but not least, something you hate that everyone else loves.
Oh, okay. I feel like this is the question that I'm gonna like be thinking about after I hang up for like a week, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, I got another one. I got another one. So maybe I'll just have to send that over to you.
Just
But
send it
the first
over.
thing I can think of right now is like, um, I'd say like people for the most part like polite drivers, like
Mhm.
drivers that are like, hey, come on in, stop traffic so you can just scoot on over. Yeah. I hate polite. I'm like, just you're disturbing the flow. Just go where you're gonna go. Let's remember those rules we learned when we were 16, 15, and let's go by those, okay?
Yeah.
Stop being nice. Just follow the road.
Get going. We don't have time for this.
No, I can't.
I
do
love
it.
that.
And honestly, at the end of the day, it's less safe if you're being nice. You gotta, yeah, you know.
I do agree with you because there's always that one that's like the one on the inside, and there's like another lane. And it's like, you want me to cross? Are you trying to get me hit? Are you trying to get me? I don't know you. I don't trust you to tell me to go.
Right? Yeah. What if you? Yeah, exactly. And I don't trust any of these other people. Just go. I'll find my own way.
Oh man, she's Rachael Lampa, RachelLampaMusic.com. All you polite drivers, please just go for all is sacred holy. Keep your eyes open at the sink in Boulder. We'll be there soon, Jenny. We can't wait to come see you. And as soon as I get Robert Redford on the line, we'll be all set. Rachael, you've been a ton of fun today. I appreciate you being on.
Thank you so much.
You got it.